Yeah, well, I mean, this is our first eyes on with it. I mean, I think the community's guesses are about as good.
I wonder why that
Now,
change happened, right? Because you wouldn't have to make a change because you would just have.
Just Nolson come in and rock the Maddox.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a Maddox out at least for now, so we'll see what they have to use throughout it. Looks like at least the lone sub is going to be Temp, and he's able to get 2 inside of the hard point. Can we check to see what Looney's using off a spawn? So Looney is going to have the Sog out as well. Picks up a Maddox off the ground, but it looks so far like it's what they were calling out.
But what about Jerd?
We check with Jerd as well. So he's got...
I saw it too, so maybe it could just be
a break.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, we'll keep an eye on over the course of the series, because tough to tell on a map like Frequency and also, well, off of one hard point, right? Temp finally falls after he was able to get 4 kills. Envy is now broken in, but not with a ton of time remaining. 15 seconds, and Splyce have got the rotation to next. It'll be the newcomer, Nolson, holding out top balcony.
Yeah, gambling when you're 15 is not allowed, bro.
Out the back line. He's going to dip away immediately, back up with support at Temp, and unfortunately for him, he gets gunned by Silly.
So we did just see Temp there with the Maddox. He's able to find another one. So yeah, 3 Saws off the break, but it's going to be Temp who's going to be that second Maddox. He finds 3 kills on rotation. This allows Jerd to get very aggressive, and now you're trapping them all towards this pipe side where Nolson, he's starting to hold the back. The slide is there. You hear the call-outs come in. Plays his life wonderfully. Well, Splyce should be able to lock this down.
Silly almost has his number again, but he's able to stay up. The trade comes through. The re-peek and re-challenge, and Nolson gets 3, holding that back pipes push. So far, so good for Splyce, and it's nice to see some good opening moments from Nolson, who starts out at 5-1.
Yeah, he's on the 3 spree right now. Trying to lock this down, but right now they're just trying to get the kills, and Looney's able to find 2 with that Maddox. That's going to spawn those players behind the point, exactly what they want. Temp almost catches a second. On the other side of the map, it's just Silly, who's top window, trying to lock things down, gets gunned by Nolson, and once again, plays his life so well, waits for his teammates. That's now 2 times where we've seen this guy where he's played his life well.
He's 420 off of streaks. I believe Temp was even closer as he's 8-2 with 4 in a row. Yeah, he's 150 off. So both these guys progressing towards some streaks. How do they deal with the opening onslaught? Now building for Envy. Temp, it's his job to hold the
Wait, Kingo Kenny, you just said you were 17 the other day. That's how I know you're 15, bro.
But as he gets his head ripped off, that's now an opening moment for Envy to start to push in. And they're going to do just
like,
that.
I mean, like, you're cool, you know, like, nothing wrong with being 15. I was 15 once. I was a cool 15-year-old.
135 away. The nade ended up catching Temp. So because they had to play for streaks, it almost allows Envy to get in.
We've seen that quite a few times this year where you're playing for streaks and it's costing you a bit, especially when
I was probably the coolest 15-year-old.
Right back in this. All 5 go down for Envy. They get broken. Splyce get right back in the hill. Decimate is able to find 2, but that's a nice cluster.
That Aches with the K into the window, it looked like he was just whirlwinding there, and I think Looney gunned him with a SOG from top mid.
Oh, that's not good.
And that's part of the reason they were able to get in. Maybe I called that wrong, but it didn't look pretty. 60-second advantage now for Splyce.
Welcome to the team,
Over to pipes we
baby.
go. Looney,
Yo, Andy with the Twitch. Right.
Tries to get in for the tray, but he
Thank you so much, bro.
For his efforts as soon as he gets in.
Let's go, guys. Chat, we're 1 sub off. 550.
The stats, at least for Nolson, throughout. They still sit around double
Jesus
positive.
Christ, Donnie might be the best player in the game.
Backing players up with his War Machine. As Envy struggling to find any kind of hole in the Splyce setups.
And you already have a 13-5 start for Tampa, 13-8 start for Looney. One of the big question marks is going to be around the SOG duo, Looney and Jerd. When I just look at that on paper, I think they have great teamwork, but I think at times they may lack some slaying ability. But if Looney's going to play at this level, it could work out great. And you got to think for Jerd, like, maybe it helps him out knowing, like, hey, Temp's not running the second SOG. A guy who's a little bit more selfless than Looney is, right? Just so you can sort of set each other up a little bit more.
I think Temp is an insane, incredible talent, but I would absolutely think that Jerd's job gets easier with someone like Looney.
Yeah.
100%. Just I think you nailed it from the selfless standpoint in a role like the SOG. But Envy finally, with some semblance of a setup inside of the hard point as they're trying to make a run. They had, what, 30 points basically heading into this hard point. Decimate, War Machine out, cluster out. And so far, they've been able to hold as they wrap back, but now it's Looney trying to break with the Tempest. He gets absolutely nothing out of that as 4 drop for Splyce. Envy desperately needed points on the board, and they're doing that right now. Who was that was close to streak? Somebody's 170 off. Is that Silly that was getting close?
Hook.
Oh, Hook. Sorry, okay.
He's 140 away. Try to get a bullet in, not going to happen. Splyce Looks like they're trying to fight for top middle, and they're going to have to go through this hill. So just a little bit nerve-wracking right now for Splyce. Grab slam in from Hook. He's able to find the streaks, finds the third on the temp as well. Nolson does clean him up, but that's going to be streaks, and now an opportunity for them to get right back in the game. This has to be a big break for Splyce. Don't have any specialists. TAC 5 is in. Helps Jerd at least find the opening gunfight. Finds the second as well. And the third. Okay.
Jerd just ripping through Envy. Now, thinking about the grab slam, goes for it. He goes for it. Is that going to cost him? Will half of it be gone? Yes, it will. So the grab slam, I think he called that in. Like, he was pretty weak, I think, when he went for it. Maybe just hold it or hit it right as you go through, but doesn't obviously get the value that he would have liked from that. And now this chain, elevator over to orange base. It's been all Envy and what looked to be a blowout for Splyce. Envy chipping away at the lead.
That was my worry when Splyce sort of hit those final 20 seconds on that elevator hill. They didn't send anybody on the rotation. With the last 20 seconds, it looks like Splyce put a little bit of pressure here, but look at that actually happens. They put too much pressure
Huke
on
or Sim?
it.
I think I'd take Huke.
But
I'm a Huke fanboy, dude. I'm Huke's #1 fan.
Chance for now 3 hard points in a row for Envy, and Huke's got these streaks still for Pipe, so you get a nice hold here. This could be 4 in a row and a big lead for Envy if they can get it done. So far, 2 kills go their way. Staggers the opening push from Splyce. Huke just trying to be annoying. Not really going to look for a kill from this position with the SOG, but trying to keep them at bay.
Nice trophy from Splyce, able to eat that on up. Ace, though, he gets in that elbow position. He's able to find a couple of kills. The pressure, though, in from the top window. As Temp's able to find one. Nolson and Temp able to find a couple of kills. The last one on one yo. Able to go Temp's way. But because they were able to find those kills, it at least opens balcony up, and that's where the pressure will be from Splyce.
And I think it was, 8 and 6 from Jerd when you pointed it out. Over the stretch where Envy is starting.
Yeah, I saw that. So I was
fucking
fucking mind
blown. Kind of holding with the SOG and making plays. He's been having to be that entry guy trying to break in.
Like 13 and 8 from Looney. He's a little bit more negative. Temp had a really fast start.
Oh, it's mind blown, brother.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to happen when you consistently have to break. But now streaks out of Hook. I don't know if he's going to find Munch. Aqua does find 2 with the KN. Well, Jerd comes off spawn. He'll have a little bit of protection, but it's going to be Splyce in the hill. Jerd flies on through with a grapple.
He's going to use the lightning as well. So both streaks are going to be used.
Well, that works. That works if you're Splyce and it only finds Aches. It only finds Aches, and that's your teammate. That's not who you want to blow up. That's going to be all dead for Envy.
And what should have been that 4 hardpoint stretch where Envy finally take over the game ends up being a blunder from a streak standpoint and a push standpoint for Envy. And now Splyce a chance to really go ahead and punish him here. Tempest out though. It's Pharaoh that's connecting on the shots. 4 are going to drop for Splyce. And what they can't get done with the streaks, it appears they can do with the specialists as they break on through with 20 or so seconds remaining.
Yeah, but Aqua's going to have the Purifier if he's able to get set up. Pharaoh, though, able to connect with 2. So you'll have a couple of weapons to work with. Jerd's getting close to the grass slam. He's going to get taken down, so not there yet. But it looks like we will have a lead change. A 1-point lead for Envy. Pharaoh on the next hill, 50 away from streaks as well. Can he find these final ones? Yep, he's going to peek on.
What do I think takes it? I personally think Envy's going to win this.
Let's say that's actually Envy's.
They just have more like time of the team, you know?
Rocking it right now. And what was a great start, it's now getting a little bit out of hand as Envy starting to take over.
Pharaoh with the 2 streaks to use. Could he get more utility out of it than what we saw from Hook's streak? On that Pipe's hard point. War Machine in from Temp. Once again, going to find 2. They chain it together with the Purifier from Aqua, and that's 5 down for Envy. They get into the hard point, but now they're trying to break the back. It's Nolson that's going to be pushing through that back orange lobby. Him and Jerd able to combo to take down the 1 remaining player. Now they've got the hard point. Now they've got the spawns. And Jerd's going to go ahead and just use the grab slam from this position to try and keep the remaining time, and it looks like they're going to be able to do just that. And the fact that Envy have to keep flooding here, they've been able to get absolutely no pressure towards that right side of the minimap.
Yeah, Jerd was 220 from streaks. Temp, he finds 3, almost finds 4. Silly was 1 bullet away, but allows them to win rotation. So now for Envy, it's be in this position to break. You have the streaks on Pharaoh. What are we going to use towards the back? You have Temp back here. Silly goes down, though. Hellstorm in. See what he can find. Nolson's going to get inside. Does find 1 on attempt. So we saw this earlier. There's the spawn in. We saw this with 100 Thieves with Octane. You can flip those spawns, but the kills and the kill feed right now all yellow, and that's the difference maker.
You're still got that safe spawn if you're Envy, but the pressure is here. Can they get time, or what can they contest? 20-point advantage now to Splyce. Silly flies in, gets one teammate, gets to the Splyce side as well before he ends up dropping. Hook's got another big grab slam he can use. Not going to need it from that position as he's able to win the gunfight with the SOG.
Right, 5 out. Hook just trying to fly and use it. Does get taken down. See both teams just trying to hold the spawns. Hook's going to spawn on up. Yeah, Decimate trying to work the flank.
It's going to be Nolson once again in a position to deal with that opening push. He'll have a one-on-one with Decimate in the back.
Yeah, Jared working the flank. That actually works out for Splyce because Jared spawned behind them, and I don't think Envy was ready for it. Splyce not on the hill yet, and they're getting the kills they need, but you do have Envy.
He put LMAO in my
stuff.
stuff.
3 players just trying to funnel in. Hook uses the grab slam, secures the kill, snaps back out, but Looney gets the trade. However, though, he's really the only one remaining. 4 players are going to drop from Splyce. Envy now 25 points away from closing out this map 1. It was all Splyce in the early going until Envy made the big 3 hard-point rally to take the lead. They can win the game here. Splyce have got to contest. Now 10 points needed for Envy. Temp, Nolson win some one-on-ones. They get into the hard point. They're at least able to contest and try to extend this to pipes.
Silly and Aches, though, they're able to find 4 kills.
That might be it. Look how far out they are.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be there. Plus, you have a player inside a window. Envy going to take map 1 away from Splyce.
And that really seems to boil down to, I mean, even with the maybe a bit of a blunder behind the streaks from Hook, once you break back in behind, what was it, the Tempest from Pharaoh, that really